There comes a quiet moment in nearly every parent's life when the house grows still, the phone rings less often, and the children we once cradled now carry lives of their own, full of noise, motion, and distance. You may find yourself wondering, where did the closeness go? Do they still need me? Do they even think of me the way I think of them? These thoughts don't always come loudly. Sometimes they arrive in the hush of a slow afternoon, or when you hear their voice but feel something missing beneath the words. If you're an aging parent with grown children, you're not alone in these quiet questions. There is no instruction, manual for this stage. No map that tells you how to navigate the changing roles, the silence, or the strange mix of pride and pain that often follows. This video isn't here to judge or offer perfect answers. It's here to share 5 honest truths that might help you understand your adult children a little better. Truths that can bring a gentle shift in your heart, a softening in your expectations, or maybe even the beginning of healing where there's been hurt. So I invite you to stay with me for a few moments, not just to listen, but to feel seen, understood, and gently supported. You've given so much of your life to your children. It's okay to ask questions now, and to find comfort in the answers. Let's walk through this together. One of the hardest truths to grasp as a parent is that your adult children still love you, even when they don't show it the way they used to. When they were young, their love was loud and simple. Hugs around your legs, drawings with hearts and stick figures, sleepy whispers of "I love you" at bedtime. Back then, it was easy to feel their need for you, their affection, their closeness, but as they grow into adults, that love changes. It becomes quieter. Sometimes it disappears behind busyness, exhaustion, or even emotional distance. They may not call as often. They may not share as much. Sometimes, they may even seem a little cold or distracted when they do reach out. And it's natural in those moments to wonder if something's wrong, if they've forgotten how much you still care. But the truth is, they haven't stopped loving you. They're just trying to carry a world that has grown heavy on their shoulders. Work, bills, relationships, parenting, health worries. These things pull at their attention constantly. In many ways, they're trying to survive the very stage of life you once had to survive too. You may remember how overwhelming it all was. You were likely just as tired and distracted once, though now, with time and perspective, it looks different. So, please know this. Their love is still there, even if it's not wrapped in daily phone calls or long visits. Sometimes it's in the small things, the way they still remember your birthday, ask for an old recipe, or check in when they know something's wrong. Love doesn't always shout. Sometimes it's like a lamp left on in the hallway at night, quiet, steady, and meant to reassure you that someone still cares. You haven't been forgotten. You're still part of their world, even if that world has become louder than you expected. Another truth that many elderly parents struggle to see is this. Your adult children carry wounds too, some of which you may not even know about. Life is hard. It shapes us in unexpected ways. And even the most loving homes can leave behind small hurts, unspoken misunderstandings, or emotional needs that were never quite met. As children grow up and step into adulthood, they begin to look back and make sense of their past. Sometimes, in doing so, they uncover feelings they didn't have words for when they were younger. This isn't about blame. It's not about judging the kind of parent you were. Most parents do the best they can with what they know at the time, but even in the best of circumstances, gaps can form. Moments when a child felt unseen, unheard, or confused. And those feelings can settle deep inside, only surfacing years later when they start raising their own children, facing their own challenges, or going through personal growth. You might notice them becoming distant, or guarded, or maybe they start asking questions that feel heavy or hard to hear. That can feel painful, especially when you've loved them so deeply and sacrificed so much. But it's not an attack. It's not rejection. It's their way of trying to understand themselves, and in turn trying to heal. The most powerful thing you can do in those moments is to simply listen. Not to defend, not to explain. Just to be a soft, open space. Let them speak their truth. even if it hurts a little. Because healing often begins when someone feels safe enough to share what's been quietly sitting in their heart for years. Think of it like finding an old letter in the attic. One they never had the courage to send, but that still holds meaning. If you can receive it with love, you give them, and yourself, the chance to move forward lighter, freer, and maybe even closer than before. As parents, we often carry the belief that once our children grow up, they won't need us the same way anymore. And while it's true they may no longer need help tying their shoes or advice on homework, that doesn't mean they've outgrown the need for you. They just need you differently now. Your adult children may not come to you asking for solutions or step-by-step guidance. They've built lives of their own, with their own families, homes, routines, and responsibilities. But what they often still need, even if they don't say it out loud, is the quiet, steady presence of someone who loves them unconditionally, and no one fills that space quite like a parent. You may notice they reach out more during difficult times, after a job loss, a divorce, a health scare. Not for you to fix it, but to feel that calming, grounding energy that you naturally carry. You've lived through storms. You've found your way through pain. And simply hearing your voice or sitting beside you can remind them that they too will be okay. In this stage of life, you are no longer the driver of their journey. You're the lighthouse. You don't tell them where to go. You simply stand steady and shining, letting them know they're never too far from safety. It's easy to miss this shift and feel unimportant when they stop asking for advice. But emotional presence, your warmth, your wisdom, your quiet faith in them, is still a kind of parenting. One that doesn't need loud gestures. Just love, patience, and gentle reminders that you're still there. And remember, even when they don't say it, they watch you. They notice how you handle aging, how you find joy in small things, how you keep going. You're still teaching them, not with lessons or lectures, but with your very being. They may not need you like they did before, but they still need you, just in ways that are softer, deeper, and every bit as meaningful. As time stretches out and years pass, another truth begins to surface, one that many families quietly carry but rarely speak aloud. Forgiveness may be needed on both sides. No relationship is perfect, not even the sacred one between parent and child. Over decades, words are said that can't be taken back. Moments are missed. Feelings are misunderstood. Sometimes there are long stretches of silence where closeness used to be. And even when love is strong, pain can still live quietly underneath. And maybe your child still holds on to something from years ago. Maybe you do too. Perhaps a decision you made, though right at the time, created ripples in their life. Or maybe they've said things in anger or distance that left you feeling forgotten or hurt. It's natural to want to explain, to defend, to make them see your side. But sometimes healing doesn't begin with answers. It begins with softness, with the courage to say, "I'm sorry if I ever hurt you. That was never my intention." Or, "I forgive you. We were all doing our best." Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending everything was perfect. It means making peace with what was, so both of you can move forward with lighter hearts. It means choosing love over pride, connection over resentment. You don't need a grand conversation to start this process. You don't even need both people to say the words out loud. Sometimes forgiveness begins in the quiet of your own heart, like setting down a heavy bag you've carried far too long. Picture autumn leaves falling from a tree, not forced, not hurried, just letting go when the season says it's time. That's how forgiveness feels. Gentle, natural, freeing. Whether you're holding guilt or sorrow, anger or confusion, you deserve peace. And so does your child. Let the years ahead be softer than the ones behind. Let this stage of life be not just about growing older, but growing wiser, and growing closer even in silence. If you've stayed with me this far, thank you. It means you care deeply about your children, your family, and your own heart. That kind of love doesn't fade with age. In fact, it often grows quieter, but deeper. There's no perfect way to be a parent to an adult child. The roles shift, the conversations change, and sometimes the space between you widens before it gently closes again. But know this, your presence still matters, your love still matters, and your journey is not over. Not as a parent, not as a person, not as someone with more to give. Even if your child doesn't always reach out, even if they don't say the words you long to hear, you've planted something lasting in them. They carry your voice in their head, your warmth in their memories, and your strength in their own way of moving through life. And maybe, just maybe, they're still learning how to say the things they've never said. Thank you. I see you. I love you more than I know how to show. So let your heart stay open. Keep showing up with grace and tenderness. Keep being the steady light in their sky, whether they're near or far. There is still time for healing. Still time for connection. Still time for love to grow, even in unexpected places. You've done more than you realize, and you are still deeply needed, just as you are. Thank you for listening, and more importantly, thank you for loving, through all the changes, all the years and all the quiet ways that only a parent truly can.